obviously very difficult, legendary, classy, incredible human being, impacted thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Tremendous family. Just an impactful person in every phase of his life. Every phase. Husband, father, grandfather, coach, mentor. The balance of when to push us versus when to go to the other side and build confidence. The gamesmanship, the management of the program, how to treat people in the program, surrounding the program, and then even the external groups that follow the program, touch the program. He was masterful at that. The best ever. I mean, take the wins out. He was the best ever at that. I would not be here had he not given me a chance. Somebody's got to give you a chance. He was really one of few that would have given me a shot. There was not a long line. His presence daily, you guys felt it. We felt it. The fans felt it. I felt it when he was in the dugout in May, and you felt it. I went and saw him a couple weeks ago. For Carol, like, this disease is relentless. It's difficult. What she endured, what the family endured for the last several months, it obviously went quickly, was tough. For him to be here in May, and when I saw him, he still had that presence, even in a condition that was challenging, to say the least. He was a competitive guy. You know, he wanted to compete. Anything we did, you were competing. He loved to compete in this sport, golf. Like, he was just there was that side, that edge to him that was always built to kind of find a way to come out on top. And he did. Like, he was the best ever. But that dynamic nature with which he led us on the field, mentored us off the field, guided us in every phase of our lives. Whether he intended to do it, I don't think at times he intended to mentor us the way he did. I just think it was his nature. When I got done, I would go up to his office thinking one day, you know what, I'm not a great player. This is going to come to an end probably too quickly for me professionally, so what's next? And I spoke at the Capitol yesterday, and I interned in the Senate. I'm like, what am I going to do here, like, when this baseball ends? But I also would intern in his office just because I'd sit there and not leave. I just wanted to soak it up. And he probably looked at me at times, just how long are you going to stay? But I would just sit there and try to soak up the knowledge and the presence that he had. And just a remarkable person. Coach, leader, father, spiritual, emotional person. trusted us. The balance of push versus trust, when to step on the gas and push the group or an individual, and when to instill confidence is the balancing act I think we all face as coaches, because you have to do both. And I thought he was the best at that balance. And because of it, he made the game feel easy because of how he promoted things during our training and our workouts. But the class, the integrity, the way he treated everybody, he's the best. If you guys have questions, I could talk all night about it.
Do you remember the first time you met 11?
I went to camp at Levy Park when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. My mom would drop me off. I loved it. Like the players, if I start to name the names, I'm probably going to leave people out that helped coach it at Levy Park. We'd have a hamburger, lunchtime, the snow cone truck would show up at the end. Man, I loved it. We'd slide on Friday, break out the hoses and slide. And this is all I ever wanted to do. Like, all I ever wanted to do was play for him on this field. That's it. From 8, 9, 10, we'd walk down. My parents lived 3 blocks away. We'd walk down here. I'd watch the games. It's all I ever wanted to do. So that was the first time. And then I played with Junior. Like, along the way, we'd play against each other and on all-star teams. We didn't go to the same school, but I think, just along the way, growing up, I was around him. I'd sneak into the cages and hit here, and I think he finally figured out I was jumping the fence to come in here and hit, which is fine. Maybe that helped me along the way, find a way to get here. And all I wanted to do once I was here was win the national championship for him. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Love the teammates. Like, next week, I'm going to see some of these guys. That's what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to walk off the field for him with that. And now I hope I can do it as the coaching. But when it all, from age 8 to age 22, wanting to play here and then wanting to win it for him there, like, it crushed me. My senior year crushed me walking off that field. For him. For him.
Coach, his presence, what was it about him that made you want to be around him, that made you want to learn from him and just soak up every bit of knowledge?
Well, from a tactical and information standpoint, you knew that this was a different level of thinking about the game. Like, he had it. And I was a student of the game even at a younger age. And when I first became a part of the program as a player, like, I really got it then. But then he was fun. Like, he was a fun person to be around. And 11 on the field, when you saw 11 out, like on the concourse or out on your way to practice or in the morning or something, it was that balance that made it fun. Because he wasn't the same person out there that he was when you caught him outside. Like, he was fun. He always made a point, like, my parents, my wife, my kids. He always remembered them and asked about him. And it wasn't just to ask about him, like, he really cared and wanted to know. So I think when you lump it all together, it's just every facet of him made you comfortable when you're around him, and you just want to be around him. I wish I'd played golf with him. I don't think one time, I would have liked to just do that. A round of golf, let's go. Because I think that would have been the ultimate in fun, and how much he liked it.
Since the announcement, there's been, a huge outpouring on social media in particular. A lot of people people who met him once had a Mike Martin story. What is it about him? It seems like he had a knack to just treat everybody the same, make everybody feel special.
He did. He had it. He had it. Like, it's hard to explain it, but he had the charisma, the presence, the look, the way he carried himself. It was it. He had it. Like, if people say, I think imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, every one of the players that walks in here next weekend can imitate him. And it's because you like him so much that you almost created the things he told you. You wanted to say it in his voice. And I think that says a lot about what we thought. And I finally got to the point, he laughed. I finally talked like him to him. And that was when I was finally comfortable enough to actually do it. But that was kind of a fun moment. And he couldn't stop laughing. So,
Coach, yesterday at the Capitol, you said a couple words in your speech about Coach Martin, and that was probably an hour or two before the announcement came out. One, were you aware at the time that he had passed, and if not, you can tell us about that first moments when you found out.
I did not know at the Capitol, and I really don't know when that happened. You felt an emptiness because this stadium, this city, you feel that he's ingrained in this. So it hits you hard when you realize that he's in a better place, no doubt. But when you realize that presence and that feeling is no longer physically going, it's not going to be here, that's what hit me. I know this was tough. This is a tough disease. And I know it was very difficult on Carol. That's what I thought about the most, is there's an emptiness here, and what she has been through. I mean, just thoughts and prayers. I tell her that as often as I could, and still do. That was difficult. It was hard, and she was there every minute that she could be by his side. But it was a hollow, empty feeling, like to look at the scoreboard and see his picture there and his name, knowing that he's not going to step foot in here again. It was very difficult.
On that aspect, was it harder to have the scrimmage, just to go practice, to come out here, or was it just knowing what he wanted? Was that a motivating factor?
He would 100% want us to practice. There was nobody better at turning up the heat and the intensity as it got closer. And he would have wanted that to happen today. I feel for Carol, Junior, Mary Beth, Melanie, on what they went through for the last several months. That's what's on my mind as much as practice, anything else, because I know that's tough, and I saw it, and I'm so thankful I went to see him a couple weeks ago. I wanted to go, and I'm glad I did.
Anything else, Brian?
Coach, I already know you and Lennon share a lot of memories. As of right now, what's the most memorable moment that you've had with Lennon that you'd like to share with us?
my freshman year, I don't think he'd ever put a freshman at shortstop in his career coaching here. And I was that. And when we punched our ticket to go to Omaha, and we were coming off that field, and I hugged him, and he looked at me, and he said, "We're going back." And he looked at me like, I finally felt like I helped that guy reach that goal, and he looked at me in the eye, and like that meant so much to me at that moment, right here. That's probably the initial moment as a player. There were other things. There's a lot. I could sit here for hours and tell you things, but that one stood out to me because I felt like I earned truly his trust and helped him accomplish something that he wanted more than anything else in his life, in his career of baseball, in his professional life, is to get there. And I felt like I helped him.